Hey guys, what's going on? It's Josh from joshspencerfitness.com. Top Beachbody Coach, 2010, three-time elite coach. I've been involved as a Beachbody coach since 2008. What I'm going to talk about today is all about communication. Communication is key to success in any business that you're running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 6 tips on how you can be better at communicating. Number 1, don't be a salesperson. This is something that I share with my coaches all of the freaking time. As soon as they get into the business, one of the things that they want to do is they want to go and just try to sell something. Maybe they want to sell Shakeology, maybe they want to sell the programs, but what you got to understand is that we're in the relationship business. We're not in the selling business. Our job, our responsibility is to build relationships with people and help people and approach them because we want to help them change their life. And the thing is, if you approach someone with the intent of selling to them, it's a mindset. And that mindset comes through in your body language. And people sense that. They know when you're trying to sell them something. For example, if you go to the mall, and we've all been to the mall many times before, and we've all had this experience happen to us, there's little kiosks that are right in the center of the mall. And they're usually selling something like nail polish or some crazy stuff like that. I don't know, sometimes it's just random stuff. But you purposely will do anything that you can to avoid that person. You won't make eye contact with them. You will literally pretend that you're on your phone. You will walk far away pretending you're talking to some other person. In fact, when my wife and I are in the mall, what we'll do is I'll say, honey, hey, look at me and pretend we're talking to each other. So that person actually doesn't make eye contact with us and want to start a conversation with us. Why? Because we know they are trying to sell us something. So number 2, I mentioned this just a second ago. I want to go into a little more detail now. Approach people for their benefit, not yours. Something magical happens when you stop focusing on yourself and you start focusing only on the person that you're talking to. Like I said, people can sense it when you're trying to sell them something. But if you approach them for their benefit, then all of a sudden they feel it. They know that you're very genuine, that you're being very real with them, and that you're not trying to just talk with them for your own benefit. Number 3, when you're communicating with people, you want to do your best to try to find some sort of common ground. And this doesn't just have to be offline either. It can be online as well. So one of the things that I talk about with my coaches all the time when they first start getting into the business is the importance of branding and knowing yourself and understanding your market. Because if you know yourself and understand your market, everything that you do, everything that you post on social media is going to appeal to people who are like you. And what happens is then you start gaining a lot of followers of people who have the same interests as you. And the thing is, when someone has the same interests as you, it's so easy to start and carry a conversation with that person. For example, let's say I'm out and about and I see someone that is wearing an Ohio State shirt. I'm a huge Buckeye fan. I've always been a Buckeye fan. I love everything Buckeyes. If I see someone wearing an Ohio State shirt, I can go up to that person and I can say, hey man, go Bucks. You know, what do you think of the team this year? How do you think we're going to be? And it's so easy for me just to start a conversation with someone that's wearing a Buckeye shirt because it's something that I'm very passionate about. It's something that I love talking about. So if there's 2 Buckeye fans like me and this guy, we can carry on a conversation for a very long time. And the same thing if you're reaching out to people in your market online as well. Let's take Ohio State as another example again. So if I see someone or I start talking to someone in a group that has to do with Ohio State football, it's very easy for me to reach out to that person individually and just say the same exact thing as if I'm talking to him or her in person. So again, it is so easy to carry a conversation with someone if you have common interests. Number 4, something that I've been very, very good at over the last 8 years of being a coach is the ability to lead a conversation to where I want it to go. So what I do is I ask questions to lead the conversation. So when I'm talking to someone, a lot of the times I'll strategically ask a question because I know that it's almost rude for that person not to ask me that question back in return. So for example, if I ask somebody, what do you do for a living? And they say, I'm an architect. Usually they'll say, well, what do you do? And I'll say, it's funny you ask. I'm actually a Beachbody coach. Have you heard of P90X before? So as you can see, I started with the question and then I kept asking questions. And I do that throughout the entire conversation to lead the conversation to exactly where I want to go, which is obviously fitness. Number 5, and I can't stress the freaking importance of this, you have to be a great listener. You should not be the one that is sitting there and doing all the talking, whether that's through a Facebook message or you're talking to that person in person. Rather, you should be an incredible listener. Remember, people love to talk about themselves, so let them talk about themselves. Let them share their story with you. There's gonna come a point to where you can talk and you can share parts of your story, but you need to be the one mostly doing the listening. Last tip, number 6, you don't always have to talk about Beachbody. Just because you're a coach doesn't mean that every conversation you have should lead to Beachbody. In fact, it shouldn't lead to Beachbody. It can at some points, but it doesn't have to every single time. If you guys are talking about something that you're super passionate about and you're really into it, don't just stop the conversation and then bring up Beachbody. That is the dumbest thing that you could do. Let the conversation keep going, and if one of you has to leave, it's so important that you get their contact information, whether that is right there. Say, hey, listen, can I add you as a friend on Facebook? Most of the time they're gonna say yes. Or hey, can I get your email so I can talk to you about such and such at a different time? Or I'd love to keep talking to you about this stuff. Is it okay if I get your Facebook information or if I get your email? Then once you connect with them through email or Facebook or whatever it is that you're connecting with them on, then you can continue to carry on the conversation and then lead the conversation to fitness. Remember too that once you're connected to them on social media, then they start seeing everything that you're doing. So if you're giving value, which you should be doing all the time on your social media regarding the things that you're interested in, regarding your market, then these people are going to be watching you, studying you, and they're going to find all of your tips helpful. And if they find it helpful, they'll keep coming back. They want to continue receiving value from you. And then bam, once you can go in and talk about maybe something that you're doing, whether it's a challenge group or maybe you're having a sneak peek in the coaching, then because you've given so much value, these people are going to trust you and they relate to you. And then they're gonna say, hey, listen, I'm interested, what do I gotta do to get involved? Or they might start commenting on all of your posts, and then you reach out to them again and see if they're interested. So that's it, guys. These are some incredible tips on how to communicate with people. Make sure you follow each and every one of these steps. If you do, this whole business becomes so much easier. If you want to learn more about what I do as a Beachbody coach or are interested in joining my team, don't be afraid to reach out to me. I'm on Facebook and I'll have the link right up here. And you can go to my website, joshspencerfitness.com, which you saw at the beginning of this video. See you guys.